Hello and welcome to today's episode of Get the Leader's Edge. I'm Leanne Zaharovich, and today we are talking about common mistakes that new managers make and some leaders who've been in leadership for a while. And we're having that conversation with Jay Allen. He is an employee relations and HR consultant. Hey, Jay.
Hi, Leanne. Thanks for having me.
Always good to see you. And I'll let you know at the end of the episode how to get in touch with Jay. But for now, I want to welcome you. And we're going to talk about some common mistakes and how people can avoid them. But let's start with your background. Tell me about the years you've spent in HR consulting.
Yeah, thanks. I didn't intend to go into HR. I sort of fell into HR accidentally. I was in a leadership role with the company I was at, and they told me, "Hey, you're really good at coaching and developing new people. You should think about getting into HR."
Mm.
And I didn't really know what all HR did. But after 13 years in HR in both corporate capacities and as a consultant, I've learned that HR really has the opportunity to shape organizational structure and design and strategy by teaching and empowering leaders how to be effective, how to avoid areas of legal risk, how to take care of their employees by doing the right thing and adhering to organizational policies and directives. And that's a delicate balancing act when you're working with people that have different perspectives and priorities. But with a few basic grounding principles, HR can help leaders be better at what they do.
And I think doing the right thing is easier than a lot of people think. It's being humane and human. It's leading with empathy. It's having real conversations and allowing our humanness to be in the workplace. What do you think?
Yeah, 100%. And I think people sometimes are afraid of HR because they think HR only exists to protect the company. And yes, we're absolutely here to help mitigate legal risk and things like that. But the way you do that effectively is by making sure that managers treat employees the right way and do the right thing and have integrity and transparency with their leadership style. And so I think HR doesn't have to be the bad guy. I think HR can help managers be good and effective leaders.
Yeah, so let's talk about that because I think a lot of the people that I work with and coach, they're rock stars at their job. They're great programmers or analysts or in manufacturing roles, and they get promoted into a management role for a variety of reasons. A lot of times they stand out because they are so good at their job, but then there's a new set of skills to learn. And a lot of times people aren't supported by the organization to get the training, the coaching, the mentorship that they need to learn those skills. Is that what you're finding as well?
Yeah, and that's why they need to hire you, right? Because
Yeah,
you can
absolutely.
help them that you
So
can
they
help
don't
them
have to
build all
hire
those things.
you for
That's
employee
right. That's
relations.
right. Yes, yes. You're there to prevent messes. I'm there to help clean them up.
Yeah.
No, I think that, first-time managers run into a lot of the same issues regardless of the industry, regardless of the organization size, because people are people. And so you run into issues that anybody could face in literally any organization. But HR should be helping them navigate that. And if they're not getting that support at their current organization, then there's resources out there like you and me to help them think through how do I be a better leader and how do I empower myself to avoid some of these mistakes and pitfalls.
Yeah. Thank you. And when I look at studies from Gallup and Deloitte and Career Builder, they all say that giving feedback is a critical skill for
Oh yeah.
leaders and as particularly new managers, and it can be scary for people because it can lead to a difficult conversation if you don't do it correctly. So advice do you give people about giving feedback?
Yeah. I think I'm a big fan of Brene Brown's philosophy, clear is kind. And so when you provide feedback to somebody, you're trying to provide them with clarity on what success looks like and how you step into that conversation, how you frame that feedback is the biggest way to make that a positive, productive conversation versus a more disruptive or confrontational conversation. So, setting the context of, I'm assuming positive intent. I know you want to do a good job. I want to help you do a good job. So I'm giving you feedback to help you improve. So it's about more of a coach and empowerment mindset than a corrective disciplinary action mindset. Of course, sometimes you have to have those conversations too, but hopefully you can build on a foundation of coaching and development.
And I think people forget to give positive feedback. And there is science behind the what happens in our minds and bodies when we hear positive feedback. It actually triggers the reward circuitry in our brain, and it gives us little dopamine hits and oxytocin, and makes us feel more willing to collaborate. We're more creative, and of course, more apt to do the things that give us that hit of dopamine.
Yeah, I don't know anybody who goes to work and intentionally tries to do a bad job. People want to do a good job. They want to be rewarded. They want to be praised. And so you just got to figure out what motivates people and help them understand and connect how their day-to-day work makes a positive impact for the organization and what success looks like. And if you clearly communicate that, set that expectation, and provide supportive and encouraging feedback to people on that, then they're more likely to perform at a high level, be happier, be more loyal. Your attrition goes down, your productivity goes up, all of those things.
Yeah. And I know we need to be realistic about the pace of work and when we're going from meeting to meeting and doing our actual work in the evenings. If we're in too many meetings during the day, we get stressed, leaders get stressed, and mistakes are going to happen. People might say things incorrectly, maybe be inappropriate. So, what do you recommend if that happens? What does a manager do when they say something and they realize, oh, I wish I could take that back?
Yeah, I don't think you're even with the best of intent, intent doesn't erase impact. And what I mean by that is when you're in a position of power as a leader, your words carry a lot of weight, whether you realize it or not. You might, maybe you make a joke about something, and your intent was to lighten the mood, but it felt dismissive or it felt like you were singling somebody out on the team. Maybe your employee, they take a sick day and you go, "Hey, what's going on?" Frankly, it's none of your business, right? You can say something like, "I hope you're okay. I'm here if you need anything." But not everyone wants to be open with their personal life or what their situation might have been that required them to take time off. So professional boundaries matter. Professional
Mhm.
decorum and professionalism is super important. Don't blur the lines between being a manager and being a friend. It's okay to want people to like you, but you also have to remember that how you carry yourself, the space that you give yourself to make mistakes and learn and grow from those and acknowledge those directly translates to your team taking accountability, being willing to challenge themselves. And if they make a mistake, they know that you're going to hold them accountable, but you're going to help them overcome that and then improve and do better next time. So you want to create a safe space for people to mess up and learn and grow because that's how we learn and grow as humans by making mistakes and then trying again, but also through accountability, having a strong internal locus of control. So you modeling those behaviors and acknowledging your own mistakes, which are going to happen because you're human, is huge to set a good
Mhm.
example.
And it's tough making that first transition because you're really straddling, especially if you're promoted on the same team that you're now leading, and you're straddling being a peer with, oh, now I have to watch out for policies and the company, and I'm part of leadership, but I'm still part of this team. And there's like a personal adjustment to make as well. And I think that's where some mistakes can be made when you don't make that separation. So let's move to when people would call you for support and you say you clean up messes. Tell me a little bit more about that.
Yeah, I think where I see the messes is you'll have like say a new manager who they're used to being the go-to person. They're used to being the smartest person in the room. They're a high performer as an individual. So they get promoted. Well, if you're really good at doing this thing, then let's promote you in charge of other people who do the thing and then you can make them as good as you were. But you've got to remember that management is its own skill set. And so if you've never done it before, you can't, even though you're really good at the thing that your team does, being in charge of others is a new thing that you've never done before. You have to learn that. You have to give yourself some grace and you have to be uh, aware of when you need to reach out and ask for help. What you don't want to do, where you hopefully don't have to reach out to me to help clean up a mess, is when you've said or done something that creates a disparate impact on a member of your team on the basis of some sort of protected class where you've created an environment that's not inclusive to somebody because of their gender or because of their race or because they brought forward a concern and you didn't handle it appropriately. And so knowing when to escalate things to HR, or if you're an HR professional, knowing when to leverage the support resources of an expert in employee relations who handles workplace investigations, performance management systems, those types of things. You've got to make sure that you're leveraging whether it's someone like yourself to help build out training for new leaders or someone like me to come in and conduct a third party workplace investigation. You've got to know when to have that specialty person help you navigate some of those challenges before it becomes a situation that's beyond repair, where the relationship is so damaged between the manager and the employee or between the employee and the organization that you're not going to be able to come back from that and have a healthy working relationship anymore.
Great point. I think prevention is key, and then knowing how to handle it if you can't prevent it. So, how can people reach you if they need to do an employee investigation or have an employee relations matter that they would like to bring in a third party for?
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate that. They can reach me on LinkedIn or they can reach me through my website. It's www.allenhrconsulting.com. And I'm happy to have an exploratory conversation with them and see how my background and skill set and experience can help them navigate whatever challenge they're facing in their workplace.
Jay from Allen HR Consulting, his link to his LinkedIn profile will be below this video. It's always fun to talk shop with you, and thank you for the advice for companies to prevent and know how to clean up. If there are things that need to be addressed after the fact, you know how to get a hold of Jay.
Thanks so much, Leanne. I really enjoyed talking with you.
Great to have you. Take care, and we'll see you in the next video.